Hillels definitely given me the opportunity to explore my Jewish identity and become a lot more proud of, just being who I am.
I think Georgia Tech has a great culture, but sometimes you have to find it, sometimes you have to seek it out. And Hillel is always putting their hand out.
I think that Hillel is really a place where there's a community where, regardless of any other differences you may have, whether it be like your different identities, like political opinions, anything, you're all kind of here to celebrate your Jewish identity and be Jewish together.
I think that the biggest impact that the Hillels had on me is just the community that it's brought me.
I mean, I definitely, A, know more than I did before, and B, feel like I've learned a lot of different things, both A, in Judaism and both B, about myself.
I believe I've made lifelong friends in this organization.
I mean, it's definitely had like a really positive impact because it's continued just to be like home away from home. And I know like if I'm sick, I can call Mara and get soup, or if I'm like really feeling stressed about class, I can go to a event that kind of takes my mind off of it and I can talk to my friends.
Well, it's impactful because there's multiple different committees to make sure everybody feels included and that there's something for everybody to relate to Judaism. And it also just builds a family and a home.
I think I spend most of my time, like if I divide it by groups, I think this is like the group I spend most of my time with. And I have like kind of a family here, which is pretty nice because all of my family is back in Israel and I'm here alone, but I never feel like that.
Impacted me personally in ways that I could never imagine, and the way I see students feel comfortable, they feel like this is their space, their people.
There's just students always around who are involved in this community who are there for you no matter what.
I think that it's helped me grow a lot as a person, whether through different leadership roles that I've had.
I wanted to connect with a different group, where I'm from, there's, I guess, a strong Jewish community, and I think I miss that, and being a part of this gives me that in my college experience.
Feels very comfortable, very home-like, and it's just made me more comfortable and a better person.
Hillel has definitely taught me how important it is for Jews to meet other Jews.
It's a place where, in an area where Jewish people may not be a predominant group or a predominant faction of people, it's a cool way to bring Jewish people together.
Thanks for impacting my life through Hillel.
Thank you for impacting my life through Hillel.
Thank you for making a difference through Hillel.
Thank you for impacting my life with Hillel.
Thank you for impacting me through Hillel.
Thank you for making an impact.
Thanks for making an impact through the Hillels of Georgia.
Hillel has made me be proud to be Jewish again.
Hi friends, we're Nefesh Mountain. My name is Eric Lindberg. This is my beautiful wife, Dani Zasloff. We are a bluegrass band from the New York area. And for those of you who know us, we're only two of us. We're the founders and creators of the band, but there's usually 5 in a non-COVID year when we're out there touring and playing across the US. And we wanted to share with you that we're honored to be here to celebrate Hillels and to be part of this community. And also just on a personal note, playing at Hillels, we've played many of them across the U.S., have been some of the most memorable experiences for us as touring musicians. We've played bluegrass festivals and synagogues and all kinds of places, but I remember specifically the Hillels, what day it was, what was happening outside. It's just something about playing Hillels. And we can remember what it was like to be in college, to be sometimes, freshman or sophomore, and you're away from home, you're feeling independent, but yet you still need to feel that connection not only to Judaism, but like to this feeling of home and this feeling of safety
and
family, of course, in that community. And we've always just been honored to let our music be that kind of bridge between the Hillel community and the college. So it's just an honor to be here, and thanks for it.
And we want to really just say thank you again to Michael for all of your commitment to this community. And we're going to start with a song about being together and about being a community. Hine ma tov. It is so good to be together with all of you. Even though we can't be in person right now, at least we can be together like this. So.
Let us pause in life's pleasures and count its many tears, while we all sup sorrow with the poor. There's a song that will linger forever in our ears. Hard times come again no more. 'Tis the song and the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Hard times come again no more. Hard times come again no more.
We come from a tale told long ago, passed on by the waves and the wind. We've made it this far together, you know. Come, brothers and sisters, let's sing. Hine matov manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. And fathers who've weathered the storms, grew strong in the trials of their times. So we brothers and sisters, the door by door, carry on with this song in our lives. Hine matov manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Sing out this song for years to come, in a story without an end, for how good it is to be among our brothers and sisters and friends. Hine matov manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Thanks again for letting us be part of the show, and now it is our pleasure to introduce you to your host.
The immediate past chair of the Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta and board member of Hillels of Georgia, Mark Silberman.
Welcome to the show, everyone, and thanks to Eric and Donnie of Nefesh Mountain. I'm so happy to be here with all of you in this virtual space. It's sad that due to COVID-19, we had to cancel our live event in March. However, while the pandemic has caused so much to change, one thing remains constant: Hillels of Georgia's commitment to provide a welcoming, vibrant Jewish community for all Jewish students. Students tell us they come to Hillel because it's a place where they feel safe and where they are free to explore their Judaism with no judgment. Tonight, we will honor not only the contributions of our longtime president, Michael Coles, but we are honoring each of you who make meaningful contributions that helps Hillels of Georgia create a lasting and far-reaching impact on students across the state. So many of you watching tonight have been willing to give of your time or money or wisdom or all three. You have all dedicated some part of yourselves to a greater cause, benefiting Hillels of Georgia and helping young people who you may never meet, but whose lives will be forever changed. Tonight, you will get to meet some of those people. Their connections to Hillels of Georgia will inspire you to continue your support of this vital organization. This alternative format has allowed us the freedom to bring those people to you in the comfort of your living room. You won't believe the variety of people we have for you tonight. I love that we are able to maintain connection and community even in this online format. Also, so you'll know, there is a comment section open for you to connect with each other during the show. Feel free to leave a memory or comment on my performance. I will be there throughout the show, and we look forward to chatting with you. On the broadcast tonight, we have students, board members, past honorees, dignitaries, world-class athletes, and we will hear from Jewish bluegrass group Nefesh Mountain again later in the broadcast. Right now, to get us rolling, let's hear from the presidents on the campus where Hillel of Georgia is headquartered.
Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Fenves, president of Emory University. On behalf of the entire Emory community, I'm honored to send greetings to you today on this special occasion honoring Michael Coles for his visionary leadership. I want to thank Mr. Coles for the important role he played at Emory during his tenure as chair of the board of Hillels of Georgia. He inspired and supported many of our students. Hillels of Georgia is one of Emory's closest partners in religious life. Through the Marcus Hillel Center, Emory's Jewish students have an amazing place to call their home away from home. Thank you, Michael, for the good work you continue to do to support Jewish life on university campuses and well beyond. I'm looking forward to partnering with Hillels of Georgia in the days to come. And I want to thank all of you for the warm welcome you've extended to me as Emory's new president. Thank you all.
Greetings from Kennesaw, Georgia. I'm Pamela Witten, president of Kennesaw State University. On behalf of our campus community, including our 41,000 plus students, I'd like to extend our sincere congratulations to Michael Coles on being recognized for his contributions to Hillel at KSU and beyond. This includes 6 years of outstanding service as the president of the board of directors for Hillels of Georgia. KSU Hillel, which serves more than 400 Jewish students and the campus at large, certainly plays a big role in the lives of our students at Kennesaw State University. I commend Michael for helping to grow this resource for students here and across Georgia. As the namesake of the exceptional Michael J. Coles College of Business and as a KSU trustee, Michael is looked up to by many of our students who hope to find success through their own entrepreneurial endeavors. So to Michael, thank you for your incredible efforts with Hillels of Georgia and for your dedication to our students. Congratulations on this esteemed recognition. There is no one more deserving. On a more personal note, I'm in my 3rd year as the president of KSU, and from day one, Michael has supported and mentored me. I am grateful beyond words. Congratulations, Michael.
Okay, folks, the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for Michael by the Numbers. As we all know, Michael served his 1-year term as president for 6 years. During those years, Hillels of Georgia has grown exponentially. Let's pull up the graphic. When Michael began his term, we had 2 Shabbat dinners impacting 79 students. And now we have 82 Shabbat dinners impacting close to 3,000 students. And over the course of Michael's tenure, Hillels of Georgia started bagel breaks across our campuses. These popular events are now hitting 3,000 in attendance, consuming approximately 6,300 and a half bagels, 237 gallons of coffee, and 3 cups of lemon verbena tea. Okay, we'll get more Michael by the numbers later in the show, but right now, let's hear from a young man responsible for consuming 237 of those bagels. He's the student president of University of Georgia's Israel Public Affairs Committee, Brett Feldman.
Good evening. My name is Brett Feldman. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Georgia, if you can even call what we did graduating. I was honored when I was invited to speak to all of you on the impacts Hillel had on my campus experience as a student and activist. Through my involvement with Hillels of Georgia, I have had opportunities I never thought possible. I have grown as a leader, empowered others to be leaders in their communities, and deeply engaged myself in Jewish communal life. I'd like to share a brief story with all of you showcasing just that. This past year, I served as president of the Georgia-Israel Public Affairs Committee, the largest student-led pro-Israel activist group in the Southeast. One of our major yearly initiatives is to send a delegation of UGA students to AIPAC Policy Conference in Washington, D.C. This conference can be an incredibly expensive endeavor for students, so GPAC works to subsidize the majority of trip expenses through fundraising. My goal for this past year was to send the largest UGA delegation to the conference in our school's history. That would not have been possible without Hillel. Roe Shoshan, the Hillel director at UGA, and Mor Omri, our Israel fellow, informed me of a Hillels of Georgia grant for Jewish first-time conference attendees. This grant helped cover a vast portion of the conference expenses. They continued to work closely with me to recruit students from across campus, focusing mainly on those students who we thought would gain the most from this type of experience. On March 1st, GPAC sent a diverse delegation of 40 UGA students to AIPAC Policy Conference, 20 of whom were only able to attend through the Hillel grant. Over 50% of Georgia graduates stay in Georgia. They are the Jewish leaders of tomorrow, and Hillels of Georgia plays no small role in ensuring that fact. I am grateful for this opportunity to be a leader and mentor to younger students, and I want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart for your commitment to Hillels of Georgia. Your support allows Jewish students the chance to think big, plan effective initiatives on campus, and educate one another on issues that bring us all closer together. I want to thank all of you out there watching tonight, Michael, the board, the chairs, staff, students, all of you gathered in your homes, together and apart, watching. Together you make Hillels of Georgia a great place to be, a great place to gather, and a great place to grow. All of you have impacted my life. All of you make it happen. Thank you.
Wow, Brett, this is really amazing tea. Awesome, awesome. Can't get enough, man. Wow. Next up, we have my dear friend and 2019 Visionary Award recipient, Norm Rado. As you remember, last year, Norm wasn't able to attend his own event, and I was fortunate enough to get on the stage and do a duo with his wife, Lindy. Those of you who remember that, chat me up and tell me how you like that one.
Hi, Michael. I am so excited to be here talking to you right now. But first, I have some housekeeping. I have to thank the board. I have to thank our incredible staff. I have to thank the committee that's putting on this event. And I have to thank our sponsors and donors. Because together, you're helping over 5,000 students that Hillels of Georgia supports every year. And that number is growing. And the support they need is so much different than it was just a few years ago with the rise in anti-Semitism. So thank you so much for what you do for those youngsters, for those young people, our future leaders in the state. And I know that you'll be rewarded 10 times more when those students pay it forward. So thank you. But now to Michael. Mike, for 20 some odd years, I've always followed you. I followed you when you ran in your campaigns and showed true leadership to try to change things in Georgia and in our country. And I supported you even when I couldn't afford it because I knew you're a good man and wanted to do great things. And then I saw your name in the paper. You were chairman of Kennesaw State University. I wrote you a letter about student housing. And the next thing you know, you put me in charge of student housing, and you, by the way, very costly man, Michael. But it was an incredible labor of love, following in your trailblazing footsteps at KSU. And I mean that with all sincerity. The things you did were remarkable, and I still don't think have been fully appreciated by our community. That I became the chairman, and you made it easy for me to do more great things at that university. So I want to thank you for that. But now tonight, you're following me, because last year I won the Billy and Bernie Marcus Humanitarian Award. And I can tell you that from experience, how meaningful that was to me. Perhaps undeserved, but really meaningful to have an award named after two incredible people given to my wife Lindy and I, and really meant a lot to me. It should mean more to you, because you've given tirelessly for years to Hillel. You've given tirelessly for years to the Jewish community. You've given tirelessly for years to support the students in this state who desperately need help from the Hillels of Georgia. So I want to thank you for myself, my wife Lindy, for everything you've done, for the things you've done for me, by opening up doors for me, by showing me the way to be a better person. I want to thank you for all that, and I want to thank you for the students that have been supported by Hillel these last many years that you've been chairperson, and you deserve every accolade for it. So thank you, my hat's off to you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Norm, for those incredibly moving words, and your personal thank you to Michael Coles, our honoree tonight. And now, please welcome some really, really very special friends with an important message.
Wherever we go, whatever we do, we're gonna go through it together. We may not go far, but sure as a star. Wherever we are, always together. Wherever I go, I know he goes. Wherever I go, I know she goes. No fits, no fights, no feuds, and no egos. Amigos, together. Through thick and through thin, all out or all in. And whether it's win, place, or show, with you for me and me for you, we'll muddle through whatever we do together, wherever we go.
Wherever we go, whatever we do, we're gonna go through it together. Wherever we sleep, if prices are steep, we'll always sleep cheaper together.
Whatever the boat I row, you row. Whatever the row I hoe, you hoe. And any IOU owes, who me owes, together. We all take a bow, including the cow, though business is lousy and slow. With Michael's vim and Donna's verve, now all we need is someone with nerve. Together, together, wherever we go. We go in a group, we tour in a troupe, we land in the soup, but we know the things we do by three's a perfect team. Knows this when it's together, together, wherever, together, wherever we go.
Thank you all so much. What a wonderful song and a fabulous melody. I really didn't think Mike Levin and Steve Seelig could carry a tune like that, but they did an awesome job. Really? And now it's time for another segment of Michael by the Numbers. Back in 2013, we have on record Hillels of Georgia sponsored one Israel program and one student. And now we have 172 Israel trips, impacting nearly 2,000 students. And we've introduced an Israel Fellows program that now has 3 fellows from Israel serving students on 5 campuses. Hillel's Israel programming is more vibrant now than ever before. I think this is a perfect time to welcome our next guest, the Consul General of Israel to the Southeastern United States, Anat Sultan Dadon.
Mazal Tov, Michael, on this special recognition today, on behalf of myself and the Consulate General of Israel in Atlanta. Your work and success as an entrepreneur and businessman are remarkable, but no less remarkable is your choice to advocate for the Jewish people in the State of Israel. Your commitment to the younger generation of Jewish students and your recognition of the importance of their Jewish identity, of their acquaintance with Judaism and with the State of Israel, are deserving of every appreciation. Your dedication to supporting Jewish youth is an investment in the worthiest of causes and carries an incredible importance for the future of the Jewish people and the State of Israel. My sincere appreciation to you for all that you have done, and congratulations.
Hello, Ilan Carr here, and I'd like to begin by thanking my dear friend and AEPI brother Elliot Karp for inviting me to be part of this important evening, honoring and celebrating Michael Coles for a remarkable 6 years as chairman of the board of Hillels of Georgia. Michael is a role model in so many ways. As a businessman and entrepreneur, he built a series of successful companies in areas as diverse as clothing and cookies and coffee, all of which were stunningly successful. He's a successful athlete, a competitive bicyclist who rode races and rode across the country multiple times. This would be remarkable under any circumstances. But when you consider the fact that he became a competitive bicyclist as a response to a catastrophic accident that nearly left him crippled, well, that is just breathtaking and really a testament to his character. But what is even more a testament to his character is Michael's success as a philanthropist. He was regent of the Georgia University system, a great benefactor of Kennesaw State and the business school that bears his name, Cole School of Business, chairman of the Georgia Film Commission, and the list goes on. But I think what really sets him apart is his passion for Jewish student life. And this brings me back to his extraordinary work for Hillels of Georgia. Look, I know from my current role, it can be very difficult being a Jewish student today on many campuses in the United States and around the world. Sometimes Jewish students are besieged, harassed, discriminated against, forced to choose between their identity on the one hand and physical safety on the other. Michael wouldn't have of that. And so he is passionate and invested in the Jewish identity of students so that students can live Jewish lives, connect with their heritage, stand up and proudly support the State of Israel. All of this was the work that Michael did through Hillels of Georgia. And you know, these kids on campus, that's our future. And in investing in them, Michael made all of our futures that much brighter. And so I'm here most of all to say, Michael, thank you. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your passion. And thank you for helping these Jewish kids. We're all in your debt. May you go from strength to strength, and may you continue having a deep and lasting impact on the Jewish people and on the United States. Thank you so much.
We've mentioned that Hillels of Georgia has a lasting impact on the lives of our students. So right now, let's hear from an alum as she reflects on how her experience in Hillel changed the direction of her life.
If you had told me when I was younger that I would be going to synagogue on my own without my mother telling me I had to go, let alone, choosing to go and be there at times when it's not even services and that you're just sitting in a room talking about how to make the shul better, I would never have believed you. Without me even realizing it, Judaism became an important part of my life again because I had sort of found the way I fit into it. And there was a rabbi who had come up from Atlanta. His name was Rabbi Golding, and he would have these dinners and there were like 30 to 40 kids. We were all sitting around a table eating kosher Chinese food. He was talking about Judaism in a way that I'd never heard anybody talk about it before. He was relating it to us in terms we could understand. He connected with me somehow. I was like, all right, I'm interested in learning more about this. I felt like I could finally have my own voice and people were listening. Hillel sort of became one of the most important things I did at college other than earning my degree. And now that I'm raising kids who are Jewish and I want them to have a connection, my daughter's learning her bat mitzvah portion right now. My middle daughter is the only Jewish girl in her class and she's really proud of it. She's like, I get to tell them all about Hanukkah and they teach me all about Diwali and then I hear about Kwanzaa. You know, they're growing up in a world where there's a lot of different people and a lot of different cultures coming together, sometimes within one household. Them knowing how they feel about Judaism is helping guide them more than if they knew they were doing it just because that's what their mom and dad wanted them to do. That's what's important to me, is that she feels a sense of a community, because I never felt that as a kid. And my husband and I sort of wanted our kids to feel Jewish, not because their parents are Jewish, but because they are Jewish. We wanted to give them their own way to figure out their Jewish identity. So Philip Schlossberg was the executive director at the time, and like I said, he was an encouraging person who ended up, when I looked back on it, really influencing my life. And so when my husband and I met and we were getting married, we had to come up with non-family members to sign the ketubah, and he was the first person that popped into my head, because had it not been for him, I wouldn't have had any connection to being Jewish. And it sort of felt like a nice way to honor that connection that he gave me by having him sign the ketubah that now, you know, it hangs in my house and my kids see it all the time, and it's a nice memory of why I am who I am and why I am where I am today. So if I were to give advice to someone who sort of didn't know if they wanted to be involved in Hillel or not, I would say, you do you. Don't do it because you're doing it for your parents. Don't do it because your roommate's going. Don't do it because someone you know thinks you should be doing it, because then it's not going to be meaningful to you.
Thank you, Lynn. Okay, now for our last segment of Michael by the Numbers. Over the last 4 years, we have broadened Hillel's reach across all of our campuses, with over 2,000 of our students involved in Greek life events. In the same time, we have welcomed over 1,000 students into our Jewish Learning Fellowship sessions.
Hey, come on in. Okay.
Sure thing.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special treat. Greg LeMond, a two-time winner of the Road Race World Championships, 1983 and 1989, and a three-time winner of the Tour de France, 86, 89, and 1990, LeMond is considered by many to be the greatest American cyclist of all time. As many of you know, both my wife and I are major cyclists and have actually been down to Austin for the charity ride sponsored by Greg. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Greg tonight.
Congratulations, Michael. It is an honor for me to be able to say a few nice words about you, which isn't difficult. I'm Greg LeMond, and I met Michael 30 years ago, actually over a phone call when he invited me to do a fly fishing tournament with him in West Yellowstone against the Russians. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but since then we became very good friends. We share a lot of passions. For me, one of the most important was fly fishing. I'm sitting next to my drift boat, should be in Montana. Another thing is bike riding. Michael, as many of you might not know, Michael was a great entrepreneur. We all know that, a big thinker, strategic thinker, but he was also a bike rider. Still holds the record of a race across America on a four-man team. So that is really a great thing. Athlete, businessman. But I think one of the most important things I value about Michael is his wife, Donna, and their partnership. They love each other, but you see that passion and caring that he shows to other people too, and we've been able to value that. And I really is, when I think of Michael's lifelong achievements, to me, the most important thing is he's kind, loving, fair person, and he couldn't deserve an award like this. And there's nobody better that deserves an award like this. Again, Michael, congratulations. If it wasn't COVID, I'd be there. I'm protected, isolated in my home right now in Tennessee, but we love you.
It is with great pleasure that I introduce Rabbi Rush Schultz.
Good evening, Hillels of Georgia family and friends, and thank you for welcoming me to this amazing night. The Billy and Bernie Marcus Visionary Award is quite an honor, one that Hillels of Georgia Board bestows only upon the most deserving. But I don't want to focus in my short time on Michael's extraordinary ability to strategize, or brand, or execute, all of which we know he excels in. For me, Michael is not only the definition of a visionary, but a leader, a mentor, and most importantly, a friend. Not a day goes by that I don't recognize the privilege and the blessing I had interacting and learning with Michael, or that I don't ask myself, how would Michael handle some important issue? And I'm sure you all hear in your head, like I sometimes hear, Michael's voice say, really? I know I am who I am today because of Michael, and when I think of my time in Atlanta and my life's course in general, Michael's shadow illuminates my life steps. Congratulations, Michael. And Donna, please give Michael a big hug for me. All the best.
Now we've come to the part of the show you've all been waiting for, the presentation of the Billy and Bernie Marcus Visionary Award. And to present the award, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Michael's daughter, Taryn Coles.
Thank you, Mark. Good evening, everyone. I'm so pleased to be here with you tonight, celebrating the contributions of my dad and the impact of Hillels of Georgia. Years ago, as a young person newly arrived in Seattle, thousands of miles from my family, I found community through the Hillel at the University of Washington. I know from personal experience the important role that Hillel has for young people at critically formative times. So I thank you for your support of this great organization. Now, anyone who knows Michael Coles knows about his passion for fly fishing. Some of my favorite times with my dad have been navigating the river or paddling around a lake in a belly boat. As I was thinking about what I might share with you tonight, I was brought back to the river. When we're on the river, my dad will often say, look where you want to go and you'll get there. Okay, so I'll load the rod and cast out, often right into the tree branches, necessitating a vigorous paddle, not by me, out there to untangle the line from the branches. My dad will climb out of the boat and patiently untangle the line and the fly from the branches, snip off the damaged part, retie my fly onto my line, and then turn to me and say, you weren't looking where you wanted to go, were you? You were focusing on the obstacles. It's important to understand them, but then refocus on where you want to go, and you'll get there. In those quiet moments on the river, my dad taught me and continues to teach me elements of success and secrets to a life well lived. He teaches me to determine my goal and stay focused on it. He guides me to identify the obstacles and consider how to navigate them, but then move my focus back to my original goal. He encourages me to learn from my mistakes and keep trying. He shows me the importance of adapting my approach as circumstances shift. And importantly, he always empowers me with the belief that I will reach my goal because he so clearly believes in me. He patiently guides me and celebrates my small achievements along the way. And when I finally reach my goal, he celebrates my success with open-hearted joy. I realized that this is the same way he approaches organizations like this one that he cares about deeply and believes in, with unwavering focus on goals, with tenacity, adaptability, empowerment, guidance, and joy. If you've worked with him, you probably recognize some of the traits that I describe. I am profoundly proud to be his daughter, and it is my great honor to present the Billy and Bernie Marcus Visionary Award to my dad, Michael Coles.
what a beautiful award, and good evening. I know this is not the way we'd expected to spend this night, but I'm so grateful to all of you who are out there. I'm also deeply honored and humbled to accept the Billy and Bernie Marcus Visionary Award and put my name alongside our good friends Lindy and Norman Radow. I am, as I said, really honored to get this, but it also validates a core value that I have really run my life by, especially in business, and one that I teach to a lot of young people. And that is to surround yourself with great people. You can do great things, and you'll probably wind up getting more credit than you deserve. And with that, I just want to thank our board, our new revitalized board that stepped up with me 6 years ago and began a process of changing Hillels of Georgia. I also want to thank the Marcus Foundation and Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta, who also recognized the new vision and work that Hillel had to pursue and stepped up to help us do that. And all of you who are out there tonight, I can't express to you how deeply I feel about you all believing in what Hillel had to do and stepping up as well. It has taken all of us together to get Hillel to where it is today. I want to just take you back a little bit and tell you how I wound up becoming president of Hillels of Georgia. I got a call from Linda Seelig one afternoon asking me if I would meet her for a cup of coffee. And we discussed Hillel, and she asked me if I would get in line to become its next president. That Hillel was going to go through a lot of changes. They were about to hire a new executive director who turned out to be Russ Schultz. And I agreed to get in that line. And I became president just about the same time Russ came on board. Russ was young and energetic, and the work of Hillel had so dramatically changed in just that 1 year till I became president, with anti-Semitism happening all over the country and frankly all over the world. And no place had anti-Semitism risen so rapidly than on college campuses. We had to make a big change of Hillel. We were always a home away from home. We were about Shabbat dinners. We were about high holidays, but we were never about safe. The word safe had never appeared in any of our literature for all the many years that Hillel had been around. And now it was going to come probably the first word of Hillels of Georgia, keeping our Jewish students safe. I'm no stranger to anti-Semitism. When I was 10 years old, when my dad went bankrupt, we had to move to a new neighborhood and I had to attend a new school. It turned out this school of over 2,000 students, it was a K through 8th grade. I was the only Jew. And that didn't seem so bad to me until one day after I arrived there in the school playground, 3 teenage boys hit me, threw me to the ground, lit a book of matches, threw it down my shirt. And as they walked away, they looked back and just yelled, "Jew bastard." It was fortunate for me that it was winter. There was snow on the ground. I rolled into the snow and put the fire out. It left a scar on my chest, but not just a skin scar, but a scar on my chest about anti-Semitism that I would carry with me all of my life. When Linda met with me that day, I could never have imagined that we would become so engaged in this battle. And so, Linda, I want to thank you, because what you allowed me to do by stepping in that line was take over a job that has become the most important job I've ever had. We've done so much at Hillels of Georgia, and yet there is so much left to do. We just recently purchased, with the help of the Marcus Foundation, a new building at UGA, which we will begin to modernize and change over the next year. It will become a world-class Hillels building. It will be better than probably anything that anyone has ever seen. And it will give students at UGA a place they can call home, a place where they can go for high holidays, Shabbat dinners, and a place they can come and study and be together and feel that sense of safety and that sense of family. I am so proud of what we've been able to accomplish over these many years. I'm leaving Hillels of Georgia in great hands, first with Bob Walensky and now our current chair, Stacy Fisher. Please join me in continuing to help Hillels of Georgia. Know how much I appreciate all of you. And as I like to say, Hillels of Georgia stands for one major thing and one major thing only, which is we don't want to see Jews, especially college campus Jews, running away from Judaism. We want to create an environment that causes them to run towards their Judaism. Thank you all. Thank you for this incredible evening, this incredible honor, and I hope to be with you all soon. Have a great evening and a great year. Thank you.
Michael, congratulations, and thank you for those very inspiring words. And now, I'd like to turn it over to our CEO, Elliot Karp.
Thank you for joining us this evening for Hillels of Georgia's tribute to Michael Coles, a truly passionate and dedicated leader of our Jewish community. On behalf of our leadership, staff, and students, I wish to thank Linda Seelig, Renee Harris, and Merritt Pinker for all their efforts helping to make this evening's webcast possible. And thanks to our special guests who offered video comments, songs, and tributes to Michael. Most importantly, I wish to thank each and every one of our generous donors who contributed in Michael's honor to support Hillel's vital programs serving more than 5,000 Jewish students across Georgia. Michael, in your book you write how the story of David and Goliath inspires you, not because David triumphed over Goliath, but because David had the determination to step into the valley to confront Goliath. The lesson of the biblical story describes your leadership approach and commitment to Hillel. You are always prepared to confront the challenges. As a result of your vision and determination, Hillels of Georgia has emerged as a leading organization in the global Hillel movement. Thanks to you, we are engaging more students in Jewish life and benefiting from the generous support of more donors who help to make it all possible. Michael, thank you for being Hillel's David, a leader unafraid to face the challenges, determined to make a difference, and prepared to do whatever it takes to be successful. Michael, you are indeed one tough cookie. And now to close out this evening's program, I'm pleased to reintroduce Nefesh Mountain.
Shalom Aleinu, Shalom B'Roma, Oh Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Shalom B'Roma, Oh Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Shalom B'Roma, Oh Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Israel, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'al kol Israel ve'imeru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mama, u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mama, u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Israel, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'al kol Israel ve'imeru, Amen. Shalom bimromav, huya aseh, shalom aleinu.
Huge thanks again to Hillels of Georgia, all our special guests, and our host committee and chairs, and of course tonight's visionary honoree, Michael Coles. Stay safe and good night, everybody.